Good morning, everybody. The ones here in Berlin, welcome. The ones already logged in, welcome to you as well. We have our final third international stakeholder conference of the project DataPro. We have a very nice program, which I will show you later at the end of this introduction. But what I want to tell you in advance is something about our project from a perspective of educational needs, because this is an educational project, and where these needs are going to lead. So as this is more or less the end of this project, we want to look into the future. Also, the presentations we have a very strong perspective on the current challenges that will lead the discourse and the problems in the next years. So, for the online participants, a few informations. We are recording these sessions, so if you want to stay anonymous, you can change your name and keep your camera off. Otherwise, you can, of course, stay online, because we want also to publish the presentation. So it might happen with some of the recording in Zoom that your picture might show on, depending which part is recorded by the system. If you have questions during the presentations, because we want to discuss also, it's a workshop, please post them in the chat. We will then, in the discussion phases, we will also use your input and try to answer that. And for the ones online, but also then the ones here, we have here a QR code. If you follow this link, you will find a short evaluation. We would be grateful if you gave us the feedback with that. You can also, with the same link, tell us whether you want a certificate of attendance. You just need to enter your data there. So, DataPro, the project. I want to show you a few things about this project. So where do we come from? What did we want and why with this project? Where are we now after a bit more than 2 years? And yeah, what's the future? That will be the big question we are trying to answer here as well. So this is the consortium. It's 6 partners from 2 countries. We have 2 partners from Germany, with us, the University of Education Freiburg, as coordinator. We are mainly a teacher training university. So this is why we are interested in school education that much. And that's also why we, as a university, can take part in a Erasmus Plus project dealing with school. We have partners also from Italy, Rome, from Spain, from Poland, and from Czechia, which have different backgrounds and approaches to education. So if you want to know more about them, of course, you can go on their website and you find interesting information on what they are doing. So what's the background? How did we get where we are? At the beginning, there was a Horizon 2020 project, which was called Geiger, which was coordinated by the University of Applied Science in Northern Switzerland, FHNW, with which we are also ongoing cooperation in different projects. And in this Horizon 2020 project, the University of Education was the work package leader for education, and we developed a curriculum for cyber safety for IT lay people. That's the important point, because this was identified as a major need that for companies, but in a further step, of course, this relates also to school students. If you need to have a basic competencies in cyber safety, in data protection, in understanding business models in the data world, in order to work in a safe environment, because of course the biggest target of malevolent actors in the internet, they focus on lay people, and that's an important point. So if lay people are more competent, the dangers in cyberspace are much reduced. So starting from this project, we had another Erasmus Plus project, MESIS, where FHNW and the University of Education work together. We have already been experimenting with an artificial intelligence bot that we created with the idea that it is also game-based, that it includes game-based learning. We already also worked on the question, what are the learning hurdles for lay people in regard of cybersecurity, data protection, and so on. And we have been creating several tools and educational materials which are partly republished on the DataPro website. So if you want to have an impression on that, go on the DataPro website, and where it's from MESIS or adapted from MESIS, it will be marked. This is, of course, from the perspective now of the University of Education Freiburg, but of course also the other partners in DataPro have vast experiences in projects about digitalization, digital transformation, with different target groups, and also, of course, with other partners they have been cooperating with. So, nevertheless, what is the need from an educational perspective that we have? So, the problem is that the power of data-driven processes is increasing permanently. This requires what can be called more data professionalism, also among common students. So, in regard of their security, their dignity, and the question, what is the economic value of data? So we developed also again a small, concise competence framework, so that teachers are able to understand what are the learning targets when you deal with this requirement, with these challenges. And we mainly identified 3 overlapping fields that are relevant for school education. Because school education, of course, has also more general education issues that we needed to take into concern. So apart from practical knowledge about one's data usage, we also identified the need that students understand the role of data protection and the like as a field of human rights. So that privacy is something that is important for a democratic society, because there needs to be spheres that are not observed where you can act as a free person. I think this is a very important issue which we included. And the third one is because this can also help in creating skepticism about what is happening. If you tell students how big data earns its money from data, so it might be an incentive not to share data that much as particularly young people usually do. So here you see a few of our competences we defined in this regard. So, for example, here the more pragmatic one: know and use measures to stop receiving unwanted messages or emails, such as spam filters or email rules. Or with this political dimension regarding dignity, be aware of your responsibility to safeguard human dignity, freedom, democracy, and equality while acting on the internet. Or this more economic question: understand that companies generally need to obtain your consent to handle your personal data, and be aware that many free communication services like social media and online content are paid for by advertising or the sale of user data. So what's the current state of the project? I already hinted to that. We are more or less at the end of the project. We will finish in August. Until now, we have a large set of educational materials, among them different games. We have a further developed artificial intelligence bot that can be used for in class, because it sticks to its topic. You can't ask about Taylor Swift. And it's also anonymous, which is particularly important for data protection, so students can enter anonymously. And also this AI bot has in its system prompt some ideas about how to use it for game-based learning. So creating quizzes for yourself and answering them, which we found out works quite well with students. So please, if you are in this sphere of education, have a look at the website. Look for the applicational materials, the games we share, the tools we have there. They are tested, and usually they work quite well. So we have, of course, as usual for Erasmus Plus projects, we disseminate nationally and here also internationally our results. So we had two other international conferences, one in Rome and one in Spain, in Ubrique, which is in Andalusia, and now this one in Berlin. So I just want to hint at two current studies that show the challenges ahead. So there's one current study from Alatassi et al. About algorithmic competencies of school students. They analyzed how school students use TikTok and how they reflect about their usage of TikTok. And there are, of course, older users know more about what TikTok does with their data, but there are still lots of gaps in problem awareness. So concerning sharing of data on such platforms. And this, again, leads to the need now for more algorithmic literacy, a topic we haven't been discussing in earlier years, but now the issue of algorithmic literacy will be ahead of us. And another study, the Global Disinformation Index, which is quite new from 2026, looked at the business of harm. So how providers of harmful content make money by that, and they can make lots of money by such things as conspiracy theories, hate speech, pseudoscience, and stuff like that. The main problem here is that the regulation is insufficient. So this is not primarily an educational program, because here I would say education will always be behind these business of harm providers. So here we need to work on regulation, and both needs to go hand in hand, of course. Well, this is about the games we developed. We have two games specially developed with the University of Applied Science of Northwestern Switzerland, with the student projects there. One is dealing with the question of data disclosure and where you disclose your data and how you can protect it. And the other one is more about the Internet of Things and how you can handle the trade-off between being able to do something and protecting yourself, not using devices. But there's of course a trade-off. There's benefits from using devices, from using services with the sharing of data. But you should be able to decide autonomously what you want. So they are currently in release. They're already, I think, in German and English available, and the other languages will be online soon as well. So, so what's the near future? The near future is, of course, that the speed of the developments is breathtaking, particularly with the spreading of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence creates new problems for data protection, and because you can the AI can collect data together and include it in a way that was difficult for standard users until now. It offers new cybersecurity attack possibilities. AI is transforming labor markets and business models, which is very important from a political perspective. So who will have a job in 10 years? This is, of course, again, also a problem for the educational sphere in school. So how shall we train our students in view of what they want to become? This is, I think, a problem that hasn't been taken up by most schools and teachers yet. Yes, and of course it's transforming education itself, the creation of learning materials, the creation of learning tutors, and so on. So again, the increasing power of data-driven processes requires more data professionalism. Okay, let's come to the agenda. After this introduction, we will have a talk by Romy Jaster from Humboldt University in Berlin on disinformation damages and our epistemic infrastructure, how we can how this is influenced. We will have a presentation by Samuel Fricker from the University of Applied Science of Northwestern Switzerland. He will explain us how AI-assisted teaching and learning will develop based on his experiences. Also from FINW, but from another part of it, Bettina Schneider. She will tell us something about trust in the age of AI. Stefan Hackstein will tell us something how AI will reshape the learning process itself. And we get from Elias Brauch brand new insights from the German National Report on Education, which came out just a week ago, more or less, which is dealing with the digital transformation of the German education system from different perspectives, which will be very interesting also, as you will see. Thank you, and now we will be changing to Romy.